See. We're going live. Hang on. There we go. Yay. Take that down. I think that's right. Is that on? Are we on? There we go. Okay, there. Now, let's see who's here. See if we are actually on live. Waiting for some people to show up. It's Friday. Happy spring, everyone. Just wait a few minutes for everybody to show up. Get a few more eyeballs. We have a crazy topic tonight. All right. Hello from, is that Pittsburgh? Great. Welcome. Connecticut. They're showing up. And on Instagram, that would also be great to see where you guys are from. I'm trying to have a grounding cord. Great. That's the best thing to have in the world. Atlanta, New York, Phoenix. Let's keep it coming. Canada. What else have we got here? Florida. Welcome, Ava. And how about you peeps on Instagram? California, of course. That's where I am. Let us know where you're calling in from. Instagram. Northern California. Great. What part? I was born and raised in Northern California. We have Illinois and Texas. We'll keep listing off a few more until we get a good crowd here. And thank you for your patience. Another one from Florida. All right, we have a great topic tonight. This is recent developments, new developments that are showing up. And everybody needs to know about what's going on. So thank you for everyone who's showing up today. Near San Jose. Yeah, I was born and raised in Marin, and not with any silver spoon, that's for sure. All right. I am going to go ahead and get started with what I wanted to talk about tonight. Yes, welcome. So tonight, I wanted to talk about a really important topic that has shown up. So for those of you who have been following me, you may have known about this infiltration that I have been talking about for some time. It has been showing up as what I've been calling ancient interference, the dark forces on the planet. And for a long time, they just sort of been hanging out in our aura. And then maybe about a month ago or so, they started showing up, cording to us, five cords at a time. And then if you tried to take these cords out, it would create a tripwire that would cause a reinstalling loop that would reinstall these cords every few hours, few days, whatever it was, but it was crazy. And then if you take that out, then there was like 50 curses that would show up where in various places. It was absolutely nuts. Well, on the eclipse that we just had on the full moon, there was an amazing clearing that I was guided by Spirit to do. In fact, I was leading a group through our 12-day group, which we just finished today, through a powerful program that was all about raising our money frequency. And so there was a really big energy that I started working on because I could see that this was interfering with their ability to manifest money. And what this was an addiction to chaos and drama. Now you can see how that could show up and cause problems in any area of our life, but we were focusing specifically on money and finances. Well, the morning that I showed up to do that, because we had such a great group, there's 50 of us, of great manifestors. They were all manifesting in the wrong direction. So their addiction to drama and chaos, and you have to understand how this works, is people don't do this consciously. We're not consciously creating chaos and drama. Like nobody wants drama and chaos in their life. However, if we've grown up in an environment that was chaotic, that was dysfunctional, that's the word we grew up with, um, that's what we've been imprinted with on how the world operates. That's how things work. And so we don't know till we're much older that, oh, everybody doesn't live like in such chaos like we did. And however, the imprints are already there. And so oftentimes, if we don't have that drama and chaos, we will create it because that's what we're used to. That's what we've been imprinted with on how things work. So anyway, that morning, it was day 6 of this program. So halfway through, so much drama and chaos was getting created that it kept kicking me off of the platform that we were doing the program on. After about 10 times, I said, okay, enough. I will just record the program into my phone and upload it later. Well, this 20-minute clearing ended up being 45 minutes. And it was the most powerful clearing I have ever done in my life. And there were points where it nearly brought me to tears because I was clearing not only for this group, but it felt global. I could see all the control mechanisms that were being used to keep this loop of drama and chaos going and going. And it was literally mind blowing, the amount of courting and curses. And it was just unbelievable. And it was also interesting in that most of these energies were out in the outer layers of our aura, where most people are not, have no idea. If it's invisible, a lot of people don't believe it, that it's a real thing, right? So our invisible energy anatomy, a lot of people aren't aware of what's going on out here. This is also where we intercept all of the thoughts and beliefs that are being programmed out into the ethers, and our wireless technology, aka aura, intercepts these thoughts and beliefs. And just because we think a thought and feel a feeling, we think it's ours, and it's not. So ever since that clearing on the solstice, on the eclipse, those energies of the courting and the curses and the AI, all that has nearly disappeared. However, now, so we cleared off all those layers of garbage. Now, the deeper layers, which I believe have probably always been here, except that now that we've gone deeper, now we can see a new way. Well, it feels new, or a more obvious way that we have been controlled. Only now they are turning up the volume like crazy. And this is with the use of demons. Now, it's not a word I've ever wanted to use. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, and that word demon was used for everything to scare us and try and keep us in line because of the demons, and don't do this because of the demons, don't watch R-rated movies because of the demons. My father was an alcoholic, not Jehovah's Witness, and sometimes he would end up in the state hospital. And I remember very vividly, before driving through the gates of the state hospital, my mother would always stop and say a prayer to keep the demons away, because this is where they lived, at these state hospitals, where all the crazy people were. So I grew up with that word, and it's not a word I've ever used because I know it has a big charge on it. It creates a lot of fear. Demons, oh, that's scary, right? And at the same time, as I'm calibrating things and I'm checking for energies, the words are very specific. And so when I was clearing all of these new, as I'm working with clients, and I'm not finding these curses anymore, I'm not finding these cordings. And then actually, there was a day before, because I get psychic attacks too, just so you know, I'm not immune to this stuff. I was under a psychic attack from someone that I discovered had demons. He had five. And so it was creating a great deal of pain in my back. And so I took those demons out. Now, normally we don't interfere with other people's energies. That's kind of like off limits, right? Well, at this point, I didn't care because it was painful. And so after I cleared that, it calmed down. So I'm kind of giving you the drops and bits of how we've come to where we are tonight. So this just the other night, I was speaking with a client, and she is a very big fan of the medical medium, Anthony Williams, I think it is Anthony Williams, medical medium. And she was mentioning how she had stayed up for hours listening to his new audiobook, and he was talking about demons. And she was so excited about like this need we need to do. Now it's time for us to do something. We need to do something about these demons. She was very revved up. And so what the thing that he was saying was that the amount of these dark forces, he was using the word demons, the numbers of those have now surpassed the number of angels. Now, most people might get freaked out about that, like, oh my God, we're losing, and it's this, we are in spiritual battle. There's no doubt about it. However, it instantly brought to mind what Dr. David Hawkins said in his book, Power versus Force, where he mentioned that it takes relatively few people, just a few people in a high frequency, bright light to counterbalance these darker negative energies. And I might get emotional tonight, guys. I can already feel it. So what's happening now is that Spirit is calling forward all of you earth angels, because there maybe the angels out there's more demons than there are angels, but all of us who are earth angels on the planet now need to step it up and step into their brilliance and their gifts and start really doing what they came here to do at this time on the planet. So I know that there's a lot of people, and I don't say this in a judgmental sort of way. There's a lot of people out in the spiritual realms, light workers, that are claiming to be of a certain whatever of the light, and they have no grounding cord. They have no creative rings. Their heart is completely closed or barely open. They are full of these spells and curses and demons and infiltration. And this is happening so many places, and some very bright lights have been taken over. We have the Dalai Lama, we have Deepak Chopra, we have Joe Dispenza, Tony Robbins. I mean, we could just go on. And they target people who have a large audience, that have a great influence, because they know that these people can keep saying the right words while these dark energies infiltrate and transmute their dark frequencies through the words, through the messages that these people who used to be in the light are delivering. And this is how they infiltrate people. So it is massive, it is rampant. And those of you who claim to be of the light really need to step into that as your life purpose, if that's why you're here. And so, one of the things I wanted to do was, I'm happy to check for those of you who want to know, and it's not just to know, like, oh, I wonder if, like, if you are really a light worker, you need to know if you're grounded, because if you just meditate every day and you think you're grounded because you meditate every day, but in reality you use that meditation as an opportunity to leave your body and get away from all the garbage, and without a grounding cord, so there's no place for the stuff to go, and then you come back thinking you did your meditation, but you haven't released anything. And so that's how the cycle keeps going. We think we're doing the right thing, but it's not helping. And I'm here to help you guys change that. And I feel emotional about that. But all right, let me try and keep it together for you guys. Oh my goodness, it's been a really crazy day. It's been actually a very blessed day. We had today was the last day of our 12-day program of the Money Matrix, Coding a New Reality, and the results were mind blowing, phenomenal. I mean, I was in tears just because of so many blessings that people had. We had one woman who had a 30, almost $40,000 hospital bill that she was so worried about and burdened by, that the insurance company finally said, you don't have to pay it now. People who made more in 2 weeks during the program than they've made in months, and new clients showing up. And one woman who always had the worst birthday, drama and chaos, right? With her husband, had a beautiful holiday, or birthday celebration. It just went on and on and on. It was absolutely phenomenal. Anyway, I'd love to hear what all of you have to say now. Let's see where we are here. And hey, Don, I'm looking forward to tonight as well. We have New York. Are you talking about the video we can listen to as a podcast? I will. I should have done this ahead of time. Let me see if I can find. If you could just be patient for 1 second, I think I can find the. I don't want to waste time like this. There is a previous video that probably has it in there. Maybe if there's somebody in the chat, if you have the link, you could post it in here, and I won't have to waste time looking for it. But it is in a previous chat, and if we don't find it by the end of tonight's thing, it'll be in the show notes. So that is the 40-minute clearing, and it is available on my Apple, on the Apple podcast, Hello Audio. So we will get it to you. Hello, New Zealand. How can we tell if we are ready to be light workers? It's just really a decision, honestly. It's kind of like ready or not. If you think you are, then just start stepping into it. Hey, Selma. Thank you so much for being the guide for all of us. Yes, Selma was there. Yes, she experienced it. I would like to know if I am. Thanks, Kimberly. So what I'd like to check for those of you who are asking is if you're grounded, how many creative rings you have, how open is your heart chakra, and if you're in your ego. That might be a hard one to hear, but I think it's important. I don't think light workers should be in their false ego. So when I say ego, that's the false ego. Like you're being this light worker as a presence, but it's not an embodied being, and it's just like a mask, a show. So those are the things I'd like to check. So DeCoste, you are not grounded. You have 3 rings. Your heart is 15% open, and false ego is at 50%. And so I also want to applaud those of you who are going to ask. This is a public platform, and it takes courage to be seen. I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm here to help all of you to step into your light more fully. And so it takes bravery to ask and to want to know. So thank you for being the first one, DaCosta. And Laura, so just so you know, I'm going to say these, what is it, 4 or 5 things. So you are also not grounded. You have 2 creative rings. Your heart is 15% open, and 105. This is a hard one, might be a hard one to hear, 100% in your ego. So, and these are not judgments. This is all information. It is, it might be hard to hear for some of you, but it's critical if you're indeed light workers that are coming here on the planet to be in service. Should we be meditating multiple times a day? What do you recommend? It's not how many times you meditate, it's whether or not it's effective. You may only need to do it once a day. I have a free meditation that I'll put here in the link as a banner. There's a 20-minute meditation, and then there is an 8-minute meditation. These are free, and this meditation is designed to get you back in your body. So I believe that the evolution of man is designed to become basically earth angels, where we are embodying, bringing in as much light as possible as we change from these carbon-based bodies to crystalline light bodies, that we embody as much light as possible while being fully in our body with 100% presence. That is, in my opinion, the whole goal or purpose of a meditation. At least it should be. That's what a good meditation should be designed to do. Well, I shouldn't say should. That's how I've designed my meditation. There's 5 parts to getting grounded. So it's more than just putting down a grounding cord. And it's different than some people think, oh, I have to put my feet in the ground. That is a different kind of grounding. And also the mats that you plug in the wall, which then makes you dependent on something outside of yourself. You don't need those devices. And you don't need to put your feet in the ground. Those are designed to discharge the electrical field that gets your electrical charge that gets full, or if you have too much of an electrical charge in your energy field. So that will help discharge that electrical charge. Mine is designed to help you release all the excess energies, foreign energies that are not yours, helps you release it through a grounding cord, helps you stay connected to the earth with roots from your feet. There's a worry circle that also is released. Your ovaries, and for the men, prostate and testicles, those need to be grounded. And then your heart. Those are the 5 parts to getting ultra grounded before you start the rest of the process. So it is a very powerful meditation that I suggest doing every day. Some people do it twice a day, in the morning to kind of set the stage for the day, and then also at the end of the day to help you release everything that accumulates. Okay, so let's see where we are. I think I lost the space. Sorry. Okay. I am open to hear what you see in me. Okay, Lizzie. This is Lizzie. You have lost your grounding cord, and you have 5 rings, and your heart is 15% open, and the false ego is only 15%. All right. I am here. I am here, T. I don't know if that's a request. If it is, you have to re-ask. I've done your clearing. This is Laura a few times recently and noticed big shifts. It is powerful. It's a very powerful thing. Great. I'm here to assist as much as possible. Great. Hi, am I grounded? Any curses? Do you see anything I should take care of, get rid of? Thanks. So this is not a full reading. I just want to give a few basic things that are really foundational, that if you don't have these things, this is kind of like Energy 101, the beginning. And if these are off, they do need to be corrected so that you can start living on purpose. So Belinda, thanks for asking. You are grounded. Great job. And your heart is grounded. You have an infinite number of rings and all of your energy is flowing. So well done. And thank you for being here. I think I've been a light worker since birth. Well, great. And so I'm not going to give you the numbers unless you ask. I don't want to presume that everybody wants to be, I'll say, exposed, but okay, KJ. I would like to know, KJ is not grounded. Heart is open 15%. You have 100 rings. That is going to be an intense ride because those rings are going to amplify everything that's going on in your life. And without a grounding cord, there's no place for this stuff to go. All those rings are going to make that feel really big. So false ego, 15%. Okay. JB, I'd like to know. Okay, great. So you are not grounded. You have 2 rings. Your heart is open 15%. And you are in your false ego 0. Nice job. Okay, Ava. No grounding, 2 rings, heart 15%, and false ego 50%. Ravina is also not grounded, and heart open 15%, Ravina, and rings 5 rings, and false ego 50%. So it's really more important what you're going to do with that information. If you're just going to go, oh, that's interesting. The main thing is, we're hopefully you're all here to do something about it. My suggestion is to get the free meditation so that you can start shifting this on your own. My goal is to empower you. And even when I'm doing clearings, like on the first Thursday of every month, we do a live luminary activation. And I'm really there to teach you. I'm really less interested that people come there to get their house cleaned, to get their energetic house cleaned. I really want to empower you. So I do these lives in a way that I'm teaching you how to do what I do so that you can empower yourself. So we do that on the first Thursday of every month. So the next one will be on April 3rd. Let me give you the link for that. And this next one is all about, let me get you the right link. It is all about the, it's called Power Alchemy. And so we're really going to be helping you to step into your power. Let me just get a new one here. Okay, there. And we'll do this one. Okay, there we go. So that's the next monthly luminary activation. It's all about our personal power and how we can transform energy into sacred potential. And so this will be a live clearing where if you weren't able to be successful doing this on your own by practicing the 20-minute meditation, then you can come to the luminary activation. There is a $49 entrance fee. And really get this stuff cleared and moving. So that's super important. All right, let's see. Where are we? When I go in and out, it takes me to a new place. Okay, we did Ravina. Tiffany, are you in your false ego? 15%. Just Almighty knows the number of angels, and they are so powerful. Almighty is full of control of everything. Yes, the exact number. So I wasn't measuring the exact number. We were measuring the percentage of angels in relation to the number of the dark side. So I don't think I mentioned this part because Anthony Williams was saying that the number of these dark side has surpassed the angels. I calibrated that and it was at 53%. So I don't know what that number is. It doesn't really matter. But it's a number I'm going to track. And when I was working with a client this afternoon, I connected that additional piece that this is really a call for all of the earth angels to really step it up. We need more angels on the earth because these dark forces are not kidding, and they don't care, and they will take as many with them as they possibly can. Ava, did I already measure you? Not grounded. 5, 10, 15 rings. Heart, 15% open. False ego, 15%. Cat, you are not grounded. Cat 33. And heart, 15% open. Creative rings, 20. And false ego, 50%. And then body by Meg, false ego. Okay, so you are not grounded. You've got 2 rings. So there's that compressive force at your crown. And heart open, 15%. False ego, 50%. Body by Meg. Did I do? Oh, that was all part of the same one. Okay. And one thing to mention about these creative rings is 3 is kind of like the base minimum. That's what I learned when I was in psychic school. That 3 rings, that's all we learned we had. It wasn't until after I left the school that I realized we actually had more. And so now we have access to up to 100 of these creative rings before it breaks through to infinity. So more rings is not necessarily better. The more rings you have, the faster you create, the more intensely and the bigger. However, the rings don't care what it amplifies. So, excuse me, hang on just one second. So since the rings don't care what they amplify, they're going to make everything bigger. If you've got a lot of fear in your space, it's going to feel really big. If you have a lot of rage and fury, whether it's yours or not, it's going to amplify that. And so these demons are creating havoc in all kinds of ways and areas. They've been disrupting my sleep. I noticed this morning I woke up and one of my eyes was very red and irritated and burned. And there was no cord. So oftentimes there can be cords in your eyes, especially if you spend a bunch of time in front of the computer. So I checked for cords. There wasn't any. I finally discovered it was in my root chakra, and it was 5 demons. So I cleared them out, and my eye cleared up. So just saying. What do you recommend we do to get rid of the false ego? So the false ego is a part of us that thinks we're something that we're not. And so by becoming more, we can become more authentic by releasing the energies and the frequencies that are not ours. And also realizing that there's a flood of thoughts that are coming through right now because I know that there's a lot of people who are, I think of a lot of these religious people, I was going to say clowns, but um, who are in it for the money, and they are, uh, you know, driving around in Rolls Royces and all the things, trying and being all the flashy with their displays. Uh, that is all about the ego. And so, if we're really being authentic and humble, and we can release these energies that are not ours, also clearing a lot of our own self judgments we have in our heart, so that we can come more authentically with a big open heart, honest heart, vulnerable heart. Then those are a few of the ways to get out of this false ego. That's a great question. This meditation changed my life. Body by Meg, thanks for sharing. Hey, Kristen, good to have you here. Am I in my false ego? Am I a light worker? And am I ready to step it up? Well, I think you already know that you're a light worker. People who always ask that, they are, they're just having a hard time, maybe acknowledging it, or maybe they don't feel worthy or deserving, or they're afraid. They start stepping into that, and then they bump up against all those past lives when they were killed for being a healer. So are you in your false ego? Only 15%. 15%. But you're nice and grounded because you've spent the last 12 days with us. And false ego wasn't something that we even checked. So, okay, thanks for being here. RPD, what about me? I practice your 20-minute meditation daily. Okay, let's see how effective it has been for you. So, RPD, I appreciate your diligence. You are missing an important piece, and it seems like you're going through the motions because you don't have a grounding cord. Since you've been practicing it daily, I'm going to give you an added tip on what to do, what to focus on, so that you can release this block and you can actually get grounded. And so this might apply to some others of you as well, but I'm telling this person especially because they practice it every day. And what's the point of doing it if it's not working, right? So I want to kind of get you on track here. So there is a belief in your sixth chakra at the second layer, and it's a fear. It's a fear of failure. And so maybe even me just telling you that it kicked up that fear. You manifested that fear. So like, oh no, I feel like a failure now. You haven't felt like there is no such thing as failure, just FYI. What I just told you is just information. Failure is a judgment that somebody puts on you, and that's not me. I'm not judging anybody here. So it's just information that you're not grounded. And so, okay. And so I didn't do anything. I didn't clear anything, but just me saying hello to that fear, you were able to get grounded. And just knowing that you weren't grounded. So now it might feel really different when you do the practice. So thank you for asking. Are you able to measure my light quotient? I'm not measuring that today because that's also a very broad stroke. Every body system and body organ, the light quotient can be measured. So that is a really broad stroke. So we're not measuring that tonight. I'm going to head over to Instagram and just see if anybody here has requested. And Rise 9899, if you're still here, you're trying to have a grounding cord, I'll let you know that you are grounded. So great job. You have an infinite number of rings. Your heart is 100% open, and you have zero false ego. So thank you so much for being here and for being so diligent about everything. So you listen to the meditation many times. Great. Anthony Williams, yes, medical medium. I love him. He has the new Audible book. That's what my client was listening to. She was okay, good. So I did read you. Okay, here's Tiki 22725. You are not grounded. and only have 2 rings. Your heart is 15% open, and your false ego, 100%. Sorry, I'm just a messenger. All right. PJH 66. You are also not grounded. You have no rings, and your heart is completely closed. And false ego, 100%. So I am just the messenger. All right, Brooke, I want to know if I'm a light worker. Of course, if you're grounded, you are, and you have infinite number of rings, and your heart is 100% open, and false ego, 0. Excellent. My work is stressing me out, so I don't feel grounded. Well, there's probably other things going on. Okay, I did tell her. I want to know, please. Sandra, okay. Grounded, excellent. And infinite rings. I was trying to find the end there. Infinite rings, heart open, 100%, excellent. And false ego, 0. You must be a light worker. How can I step into the light? Well, number 1, being here. That's the first step. So welcome. Listen to my meditation. And it's really, we really are already in the light. And it's just a matter of uncovering and releasing some of these darker energies so that our light can really shine. So thank you for asking. Am I a believer in Jesus? So I think what you're really asking is that religious question: have you been born again? Or I believe in Jesus as a person, but what I believe is more important at this time on the planet in regards to Jesus is that people stop giving their seniority up to religious leaders and to the coming of Christ's second coming, waiting for a savior. I think that as people are doing that, so one of the big lessons, and a lot of you religious people, if you're out here, might be offended by this, but I'm here to help people as a light worker. And I grew up religious, and I have also people who go through the religious path. Part of that lesson is learning that our salvation is not on the outside. It is not in our religion. It is not in our pastor. It is not in Jesus. It is not in our president. It is not on anything on the outside. And so when it comes to Jesus, the Christ consciousness, that is something that we all possess. And this is the energy that can transmute these demons. When we access the light energy already in us, when we amplify that white, bright light of Christ consciousness, this is how we dissolve and transmute these demons. So that is what I believe about Jesus. Mommy Nink, Mommy and Ink. Are you grounded? No, you're not grounded. You've only got 2 rings. Heart is open 15%. And false ego, 100%. So those of you who are in your false ego, you're still, trying to figure out who and what you really are. Who am I? What am I without the mask or without the facade that I have, that I'm displaying to everybody? Who am I behind all of that? That's really what that false ego, the lessons around that false ego are about. Okay, a gas Highland tap. Okay, so we're only checking a few numbers here with those who want to know, and we're assuming you're asking because you want to be in that higher frequency. It's just not curiosity and then throw it in the back seat. So a gas Highland tap, you have no grounding cord. You have 5 rings. Your heart is open 15%, and false ego, also 15%. Okay, excellent. Grace has lost her grounding cord. And you have 5 rings. Heart is open 15%, and your false ego is 15%. Okay, how about me? Tambo, you are also not grounded. You've got 2 rings, so that's that outside compression. And your heart is open 15%, so you've got some guarding going on. And heart and false ego, 50%. All right. Please give me a sign. So does that mean that you'd like a reading? I'm assuming that's what it means. So AYMC 52, not grounded, 0 rings, heart closed, and false ego 100%. Am I fully in my body? Hannah. Well, that's actually not one of the numbers we're giving tonight, how embodied you are, but you have no grounding cord, so it's a good sign that you're not in your body. Usually when you're not grounded, there's just too much going on, can't stay present. I'll use you as an example because you asked, but I'm not doing that for everybody. So because you have no grounding cord and you've got all these energies that have backed up, you're only in your body 3%. You have 2 creative rings. Your heart is open 3% as well. And false ego is at 50%. Marie Claire, you are grounded. You have an infinite number of rings. Your heart is open 100%. Great. And a false ego, 0. Well done. Wayne, you are also not grounded. You've got 2 rings. Your heart is open 15%. So there's some guarding going on. And false ego, also only 15%. You're welcome, Brooke. So when you pray or meditate, do you say amen? No, I don't. Yeah, so that's a religious thing. Pray in Jesus' name, amen. Okay, good. I'm glad you resonate. Good. Okay, we're going to come back to all of these people over here. So I don't want to feel neglected over on this end. Let's see where we are. Okay. No big shift. Okay, this Kimberly, I'm ready. Okay, so I don't think I told you. No, because I would remember. Kimberly. So you are also not grounded. Kimberly, you've got 2 rings. Your heart is open 15%. And you're in your false ego 50%. KJ, you are also not grounded. You are in your, let's see, your heart is open 15%. You have 2 creative rings and you're in your false ego 50%. JB, I don't know if I already did that. Sounds familiar, but we'll do JB. Is not grounded, only has 2 rings. Heart is open 15%, and false ego is 50%. And Ava Lambana, if that's right, took my glasses off. You're also not grounded. You've got 2 rings. Your heart is open 15%. And false ego, 15%. All right. Let's see. Ravina, how are we doing on time? Okay. Not grounded, 2 rings. Heart is open, 50%, and false ego, 50%. Tiffany, I think we did that already, did we? If I'm in my false ego, 15%. Okay, we did do that. Cat, okay. False ego, Meg, I did that. Okay, now I think I'm back to where I was when I left off. Yes, okay. Okay, Reiki Shakti, no grounding, no rings, heart closed, false ego, 15%. Okay, Nicole, also no grounding, 2 rings, heart open, 15%, and false ego, 50%. Hannah, Hannah, okay, no grounding, 2 rings, heart open, 15%, and false ego, 50%, 50. All right, Dawn, welcome. Okay, let's see if we're checking these things for everybody. Okay, so you are grounded, Dawn, welcome. And infinite rings, and your heart is open 100%, and your false ego is only 15%. So well done. Cheryl, grounded, infinite rings, heart open 100%, and false ego 0. Great having you here, Cheryl, bright light worker. Supernatural, not grounded, 2 rings, heart open 15%, and false ego 100%. Okay, Grace. This is a different Grace. I think there was a other Grace. Yes, you're grounded, Grace, with infinite rings, and your heart is open 100%. False ego, just a small percent, 15%. All right, boy, we could go on for days here. So you're so welcome. So I am going to wrap this up with just a few thoughts. So number one, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate your support. I love that there are so many of you here that want to create a change on the planet. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Otherwise, you wouldn't be asking for your numbers. Those numbers are not just for curiosity's sake. It's because now with these numbers, now you have the responsibility, because you asked, to change that. And that's the whole point of asking for the numbers. So listen to the meditation. Join us for the monthly luminary activation on the 1st, so you can shift your frequency. You can get grounded fully in your body so that light workers can start to outnumber the demons. We need more light on this planet. Things are just getting started to, a lot of people think, oh, it's so bad. How is it going to get any worse than this? Well, that's not the question to ask. The question to ask is how it gets better than this. However, I have my assessment, not that I forecast or foretell the future at all, but my guides are telling me that all of this stuff, this unfolding of we are transitioning into this golden age, and we are a ways off from that yet. There's still about 3 years from what my guides have been telling me of this transition phase where all of the things that are not working need to crumble so that they can be replaced. We slowly see our government crumbling, the judicial systems crumbling, schools crumbling, religions crumbling, all of these systems that haven't worked, that are not working, so that we can have a direct connection with Source. We do not need any go between us and God or Source or the Lord or whatever it is you want to call this guiding force. And we need to start strengthening that direct connection, because when all these things fall, we need to be grounded and fully present so that we can stand strong. One of the things that was brought up in our group today was about they wanted to work on how money didn't feel safe. And so this is the thing is our safety and our security is not out here. It's not on the outside. It is here inside as we connect firmly to the earth and to Source. And that's what we need to be running through our energy field so we can stand strong, so we can stand in our power, and we can help others. If you're a light worker, you're meant to help others. You're meant to reach back to those who are behind you and pull them up. You don't need to be some fancy schmancy know-it-all person. I don't know everything. I'm always learning new things. You are ahead of somebody else, and that's all that matters. Help them. And so this is how it works. We only need to be ahead of a few people that are behind us that we can help pull up. And this is how we help each other. So thank you so much for being here. And please like and subscribe and follow. I am trying to get back up to 1,000 followers on TikTok. If you follow me there, Vibrant Longevity Official. There was a demon that got me kicked off of TikTok. I had around 50,000 followers. And so I'm starting over, and I can't even get a live link on there until I get to 1,000 followers. So your help would be appreciated there. If you subscribe, then you'll know when I come on live. I come on when I'm inspired. I try to do it every week, but things get busy. So thank you all for being here so much, and I look forward to connecting again. Please keep doing your work. Your diligence is much appreciated, and we're all contributing to the rise of the global consciousness. So thank you so much. Sending much blessings, and namaste. Happy spring, by the way. It is spring. Okay. Good night.